Welcome to this week's edition of the Gridiron Report, where we talk about everything that's going on in the Gridiron League. I'm Carlos Younger, and this is my guy, Tone Colston. Tony, week one of the Gridiron 7-on-7 League is in the books. The action was fast and furious, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was an exciting week. We had 54 games played. Everything kind of went to plan. You know, guys showed up, balled out, competed. Good competition between everybody in the league. You know, there's a few teams that kind of stood out, separated themselves a little bit in week one, but I think a little scheduling throughout the rest of the season will kind of level things out and see how they feel in for the next couple weeks.
Let's talk about the standings in the 12U division, Tony.
12U division is always exciting. We said that last week. We've got 6 teams that competed this past weekend, so we'll talk about kind of how they ranked and lined up in the standings to start off. So with the 12U division, we had Team Primetime and Rising Stars and Goon Squad finished 2-1. All 3 of those teams played really well, had some nice stats, had a lot of players scoring touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, had some interceptions. And, the Goon Squad rounded out and Catholic at 2-1 at 3-4. And we had Team Lions and the Broncos finished it out at 1-2 and 0-3. I think we're going to have good competition between that. I think the teams that started off slow are going to catch up fast. It normally happens in that.
It always happens like that.
Some of those teams that started off fast, they've been doing this for a minute. So I think they're going to, hopefully those young guys will catch up with those guys. Stats, as always.
I was going to say, let's talk about some of the players who we thought did really well in the 12U division. For the quarterbacks, you got Colton Faust from Primetime. He threw 6 touchdowns on the day.
I know, big day for him.
Big day for him. Then you got one of the veterans of the league, Brody Sparks from the Rising Stars. He threw 5. Mm-hmm. And you got Colton Smith from Team Lions. He threw 4 touchdowns on Sunday.
That's impressive. 12U normally doesn't throw a whole lot of touchdowns, even though they get 3 games. So it was good to see these guys come out week one and actually get on the board, with 4 and 5 touchdowns and even 6 with Colton Faust. So Team Primetime, Rising Stars, and Team Lions had 3 of the top gunslingers this week. Receivers, go-getters of the week.
Yeah, go-getters of the week. There's one in particular that we really want to talk about, Tyson Dorsey, who had 3 touchdowns from Primetime. Yeah, he had a big-time performance this past weekend, and it propelled him to be the go-getter of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 5 guys tied with 2 touchdowns. So Tyson Dorsey, that combination with Colton Faust and Tyson this weekend at Primetime, they really was the 1-2 connection. Defenders of the week, we always talk about the guys that get the most interceptions of the week, top defensive players, which could be a DB or a linebacker guy. Those guys, this week we've got 2 from the Goon Squad, both finished with 2 interceptions, actually, Jeremiah Smith and Braden Howard.
Didn't they have 6 on the day?
Yeah, their defensive secondary had 6 interceptions. I mean, it made it tough for any opponent to get the ball off and in the air. Spencer Smith with the Broncos, he also pulled out 2 interceptions. So that was a highlight for the Broncos. Even though they didn't win Saturday, they still had some guys that get some good stats and some really good highlights we saw earlier in the day.
I'm really looking forward, Tony, to seeing these guys next week, too. I mean, I think some more guys are going to show up next week. I mean, every week when we get in this league, guys show up in this league, and new names seem to emerge weekly, for us.
Absolutely. We got one team, for 12U next week. We got a team, Kentucky Elite, that'll be coming in and competing with you guys. So, welcome them to the Gridiron League and put some points on them, try to shut them down, give them a good experience for the weekend.
Now, let's talk a little bit about our award winners again, Tony.
Oh, yeah. We always talk about, Carlos spoke on it last year, we give our award winners the Go-Getter, Gunslinger, and Ball Hawk of the Week awards. And, this week it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really a favorite thing. It's really just whoever puts up the stats. And then when it comes to stats, then it's all about, who wins. So this week, Colton Faust, Primetime, quarterback, Gunslinger of the Week, week 1 for 12U.
Wide receiver of the week, Go-Getter of the Week, Tyson Dorsey with 3 touchdowns, the guy we talked about earlier. And our DB of the week is Jeremiah Smith from the Goon Squad. He had 2 interceptions this weekend.
Right. Sounds good. Those 3 guys should be happy. Make sure you catch us week 2 so we can get some pictures, get these awards to you. All right, so you 12U guys, hey, good job this weekend. It was really exciting. Y'all played with a lot of class, a lot of character, and just showed out. So we look forward to you guys next week.
Tony, now let's talk about our 15U division.
Yeah, man, the 15U division, Carlos, was pretty exciting this year. We got 10 teams right now in the 15U division, so we split it into 2 divisions. We got the Gunslinger Division, and we have the Gridiron Division. So we'll start with the Gunslinger Division. Leading up the Gunslinger Division was Betsy Built out of Elizabethan. They finished 3-0 on the day. We got the Patriots and Team Gunslinger finished 2-1. The Patriots are ahead of the Gunslinger. They beat them head-to-head during the weekend. You got the Cougars, and we got 865 Elite. The Cougars finished 1-2. 865 Elite finished 0-3. In our Gridiron Division, we've got Team Wolfpack Red. Wolfpack has 3 teams in it, so their 15U team is Wolfpack Red. They finished 3-0 also to be the leaders of that division. We got Knoxville Smash, finished 2-1, and we also got the Rebels and Goon Squad finished 1-2 also. And then to finish that one out, we got Team Mojo, finished 0-3 for the weekend.
Let's talk about, Tony, some of the guys who stood out in the 15U division. You want to start with the quarterback since that's your area of specialty?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterbacks, this is a pretty exciting division. This is when the guys get to that age where they can really, just really rip the football, man. They start breaking down these coverages and start throwing the ball, hitting tight windows, and really reaching the end zone from the 40-yard line. So there was a ton of good highlights on that. And, going with the quarterbacks, this is the first week Betsy Built, really came out strong, every game they played today or this past weekend. And Gib Moppin. We messed that up on the stats earlier in the week, but we got that fixed. But Gib Moppin finished with 12 touchdowns. That's almost a record for the league, but it's not quite. So you still got more things to work toward over the next few weeks. Our next quarterback was Elijah Smith. He played for Knoxville Smash. I mean, Elijah's been throwing tons of touchdowns for the past couple years in the Gridiron League. He's going to be one of those young guys to watch over the next few years as he gets through into high school and moves on into that. Our third guy was actually Elijah finished with 9 touchdowns. Lowton Potts from the Patriots up at Jeff County.
Yeah.
He's going to be pushing for a possible starting job at the high school this upcoming year as an upcoming sophomore. He played last year. He finished with 6 this weekend. And the fourth quarterback we'll talk about today is Kai Beasley with the Rebels. It's his second year, and we always see improvement from guys throughout the year, and a lot of it just comes with growth and just getting a little bit older, definitely that quarterback position. Yes. And Kai's one of those guys, the first year he played, he was just kind of learning, and this year, it's been exciting to watch him, have a little bit better year this year so far in week 1, but he had 6 touchdowns too. He plays for the E-10 Brigade. Receiver-wise.
Let's talk about the guys who got off and the guys who look like, going to be some of the top go-getters overall in our league. This Jariah Griffin kid from Betsy Built, this kid had 5 touchdowns on the weekend. Really, really special kid. He was just going up, getting balls. Everything that they threw to him, Tony, when I saw those games, he was catching it.
Really?
Another guy who stood out for me was Frank Johnson. He had 5 touchdowns, too, as well. Knoxville Smash.
Yeah,
he looked really good. Elijah was really throwing him the ball. That's a deadly combination in our league, I think.
Yeah. I think those were the 2 guys that really set the
bar high.
For the first week of the Gunslinger, the Gridiron League, 5 touchdowns each. Mm-hmm. Secondary guys. There's one guy, that really just stole the show, man. He finished with 3 interceptions. Nathaniel Thomas from the Rebels. And, he finished with 3 interceptions. That led the league. There were a couple guys with 1. I think we had a couple guys with 2. But other than that, he was the guy. So when it comes to Gunslinger, Go-Getter, Ball Hawk of the Week, it's pretty much self-explanatory, right?
Self-explanatory who it is, right.
It's kind of like the last, this first week's one of those deals where it's kind of like the combinations.
Mm-hmm.
The Gunslinger and the Go-Getter of the Week are kind of the guys that just had the best combination for the weekend. So Gib Moppin for Betsy Built and
Jariah
Griffin would be the Gunslinger and Go-Getter of the Week.
Nathaniel Thomas would be our Ball Hawk of the Week with his 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
So those guys really showed out, and those guys are going to pick up some awards, coming up this weekend.
Yeah, be sure to find us, find us at the front gate next week, get your awards, get a picture, all that good stuff. And, 15U, that's pretty exciting. A lot of good matchups next week. Actually, Kentucky Elite's bringing a 15U team also for next weekend. So we'll add another team to the mix, and we'll get after it.
We wanted to add another segment to the show where we not only talk about our top guys who showed out, from a statistical standpoint, but we also wanted to highlight other players in the league as well.
We've got quite a few players in the league that, week 1 maybe didn't get the statistics as, the top touchdowns, most interceptions, but we got some guys that have offers. We got guys that are super talented, got guys that, are getting noticed and getting seen. We've got William Goodwin. It's the other 1-2 part punch of the Tennessee Gridiron Scouting coming out today to talk about some of those kids that he saw, and that's kind of the part that he puts to the Gridiron League is he comes out and looks at these guys and tries to just get his eye on them, so when he talks to these college coaches, he can say, hey, I saw a guy, and try to get his name out there and just do what he does.
These are the guys that I thought that would get offers. Jordan Harris, Alcoa High School, great speed, great ball skills. The kid's a dog, playmaker. Major Newman. Now, this kid here, I can say this kid will get D1 off because he's got the look. He's a baller. He got the speed. He got great hips. He covers good. This kid just a baller. Charles Robinson plays quarterback at Webb, but he's an athlete. Will probably play wide receiver, defensive back, great ball skills. Shavar Young, 8th grader, going to the 9th grade. This kid caught my eyes. He's got the look already. He will start for somebody as a freshman or get playing time. Kendall Robinson, great ball player. Got the skill. This kid should have a breakout year this year. Colton Widener, defensive back, Dobbins Bennett. When I first seen this kid, 6'3", got the look, flies to the football, got the dog in him, got great hips, wide receiver, defensive back. Isaiah Long, Davy Crockett, look good at defensive back, look good at wide receiver, fits the skills of a great athlete. Eli Turner, William Blunt, the kid will play outside linebacker. They got him playing with his hand down. Covers good ball skills, smart football player. Zach Braden, Merville High School, kid just a dog on the field. He flies to the football, hustles, and great athlete. These are the players that caught my eye in week 1. Back to Carlos and Tony.
Tony, let's talk about our high school division, the big dogs.
Yeah, high school division, man. We got a good group. We got 16 teams this year. Broke them into 2 divisions: Gunslinger Division, Gridiron Division. Gunslinger Division, top team in the age group right now is East Tennessee Drip. You know, they came out 3-0, dominated their opponents, scored
big time players.
Yeah, scored 87 points or 81 points and gave up 21. You know, they were the top offense and the top defense for the weekend. The next 3 teams in the Gunslinger Division that rounded out would be Team Lions, Team TNGS, and the Admirals. They finished 2-1. We got the Wolfpack. We got the Venom and Gem City Underdogs that finished at 1-2. And then Seymour finished 0-3, rounding out the Gunslinger Division. Gridiron Division actually had pretty good matchups there. You know, we're pretty even across the top, you know. So the top team in the Gridiron Division was the Dragons. They finished 3-0. We've got Wolfpack Black, Legacy Elite, finishing 2nd and 3rd right there. Then we've got 2 teams, the Cougars and the Tribe, finished 1-2. And then we have E10 Brigade, finished 0-3 for the day. We also have 2 teams in the league that weren't able to get it together this weekend, but will be out there this upcoming weekend for week 2 is the Saints and Gibbs Eagles.
Looking forward to seeing both of those teams and seeing what they're going to bring to the league.
Absolutely, for
Tony,
sure.
let's get into our guys who stood out in the high school division.
Yeah, so when it comes to the high school quarterbacks, had a handful of guys, 6 touchdowns, I believe. The top guy was Joshua Keith. He actually threw 8 touchdowns. Led the league for the week 1 with 8 touchdowns. Then we had Caden Martin.
Yes, Knoxville Catholic, big-time quarterback.
Finished with 6. And Campbell County's quarterback, Hunter White. This is 3rd, 4th year in the league. He's been in here since year 1, basically. So, he had a really good week also with the Cougars.
Let's talk about the top go-getters, Tony, in the high school division.
Go-getters this week, we've got 5 guys actually we're going to talk about that led the division in statistics. The first guy was Nigel Lee from Clinton, had 4 touchdowns, led the whole league with that. Other than that, 15 you guys. Preston Turner from E10 had 3. Devin Jones from the Cougars had 3. Jake Roberts from the Lions had 3. And Kanye Bergens from the Wolfpack White team had 3. Really
a good group of receivers there, Tony. I expect all these guys to continue to make plays as the season continues to go along.
Absolutely, for sure.
Let's talk about the top ball hawks from the week in the high school division.
We got 4 guys we're going to talk about this. We had basically a 4-way tie, 2 interceptions, which means quarterbacks in the high school division. We had a ton of interceptions this first week, which is okay because you guys are going to get better. But we had 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 interceptions in the high school division. So Gunslingers, let's get together. Let's get these balls to the receivers and get in the end zone. But let's get back to the defensive guys. Eloy Vera had two interceptions. E10 Brigade. Nigel Lee from Clinton had 2 interceptions.
He had 2 interceptions. He was also one of the top, receivers as well in the league. So that guy really did well on both sides of the football.
Yeah, he's a new face over there at Clinton right now. Jordan Garnica had 2 interceptions with the Wolfpack White, and Jaquan Price had 2 interceptions with Team Lions.
Really good group of ball hawks. I mean, those guys really stood out. Like Tony said, the quarterbacks did throw a lot of interceptions this week, but that's probably to be expected in week 1. I mean, not a lot of familiarity with the teams yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things of that nature. Let's talk about the players of the week from the high school division.
Absolutely. Player of the week from the high school division, quarterback gunslinger of the week was Joshua Keith. 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns.
Got to be gunslinger of the week on that.
Got to be gunslinger of the
Absolutely.
week. 8 touchdowns in the high school division. Our go-getter of the week, Nigel Lee from Clinton as well, the Dragons.
A 1-2 combination.
1-2 combination, 4 touchdowns on the day. I mean, that guy was really exciting. I'd never seen him before.
I've never seen him either. He's kind of a small guy, but, one thing we were talking about watching the videos, he plays big.
Plays real
he's
big.
He's aggressive to the football. Looks like a playmaker.
Yeah.
Clinton needs a couple guys like that. Eloy Vera.
Eloy Vera, he's our ball hawk of the week.
2
interceptions. His team had 4 on the day.
Yeah.
He was the top guy on his team with 2. So
Absolutely.
we wanted to give it to him this week. Good job.
Yeah, so, that's our 9 award winners for the week. Ball hawk, gunslingers, and go-getters of the week. All right, so every week at the Gridiron 7-on-7 League, we always talk about bringing in non-league teams and just extra competition. That's one thing a little bit different with the way we do things,
right,
instead of just having a set league schedule. And that's why our schedule comes out on Fridays, because we want more teams to sign up, see what we're doing. And after week 1, we've had a couple teams hit us up. Kentucky Elite, we talked about those guys earlier.
15U.
15U. They're going to come down, 15U and 12U.
Okay.
And another team here from Knoxville that's more of a tournament type team, Tennessee Prime.
Tennessee Prime.
They've came in last year, competed a few times.
One of the top teams in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. They got some top talent, a ton of athletes.
Can't wait to see those guys.
And, so Tennessee Prime will be in the high school division, this upcoming weekend.
In addition to our 2 new teams that'll be coming to play.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 new high school teams this week. We'll have the Saints, it's a Pigeon Forge team, Gibbs, which is Gibbs Eagles, and then we'll have Tennessee Prime, which is a mix of just some really good young athletes, actually sophomores, a lot of sophomores guys from the Knoxville area.
Tony, you want to talk about the fields and how the layout is going to be this week?
Yeah, let's explain that just a little bit. I know everybody, a few people got confused on that, and that was just lack of communication, I guess, on my end. Just wanted y'all to understand, this week we'll be at the same Bob Leonard Park. We'll actually be playing on the main field. So if you think about the way they lay out the fields for Bob Leonard, field 3 is the bottom field by the road. So we'll be using that field. That'll be field 1 and 2 for us this week. Up on the top of the hill, field 1, which was field 3 for us this week, will be fields 3 and 4. So we're actually going to have 4 games going at one time this weekend. It's going to take a lot of organization, a lot of work with the teams and coaches to kind of bounce around. We'll give you time to go from field to field, so you have a little more space between your games. But, overall, we're going to be at the same location. Weather looks like it might be a little bit wet, but I think 60 and wet's a lot better than, 40 and cold. So we'll rock and roll with it.
Big time action this weekend.
Yeah.
With the new teams coming into the league, with the teams that are already the pace setters in our league, Tony.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be another big weekend. Opening weekend was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. A lot of people came out. I think all the teams really enjoyed participating in the league. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to week 2 being even better.
Yeah, that's all it can be.
All right, Tony, that's the end of this week's segment of the Gridiron Report.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Yeah, next week, week 2, February 28th, Bob Leonard Park. Come out, be there on time, be ready to go.